Targeting the twin epidemics of obesity and diabetes, researchers at St. Louis University may have an answer in the form of a pill. They've identified promising drug compounds that may one day give patients the benefit of exercise as if they've been to the gym. Imagine a drug that can give you the benefits of exercise without working up a sweat. There are 2 potential drug compounds showing promise in mice. The work is done in this St. Louis University laboratory. Pharmacologist Thomas Burris and medicinal chemist John Walker are targeting 2 nuclear receptors related to steroid receptors that control muscle metabolism. One is REV-ERB.
Back in 2007, we discovered the natural hormone for REV-ERB, and that told us we could probably design synthetic compounds. We found that when we gave those to animals, we saw a wide variety of metabolic effects. And what it made the muscle look like is actually like the muscle had been exercising.
The other target is the receptor ERR.
It's actually called the estrogen-related orphan receptor because it's very closely related to the estrogen receptor.
Our lab is tasked really with designing and synthesizing molecules that would interact with those receptors to specifically turn them on or turn them off as a way to therapeutically intervene in those disease states.
And when we put those into mice, we see that they activate metabolic programs that look like the muscle's been exercising, and actually that when the muscles look like they are exercising, they tend to burn fat. And so when we put these into mouse models of obesity, they actually lose a lot of their fat mass and gain muscle function.
By tapping into the receptors, they hope to one day take aim at a number of diseases, including diabetes.
So one of the issues with type 2 diabetes is a lack of insulin sensitivity, and so the muscle doesn't respond appropriately to insulin and basically utilize the glucose that's present. And so if you could tell that the muscle tissue that's not responding appropriately to be more metabolically active, it basically increases the insulin sensitivity. And we have seen that.
He's seen how the compounds help mice. Same with obese mice.
On these types of compounds, they do lose weight.
New federal grants are helping to fund the research. One from the Department of Defense targets diabetes and obesity.
Of course, a lot of people say, why don't people just exercise? But a lot of people with very severe disease can't exercise. These types of drugs may facilitate improved health or facilitate loss of weight to the point that exercise is reasonable.
Burris says the aging and disabled can also benefit.
Even if people exercise, which a lot of folks aren't, they will lose muscle mass as they age. So one of the issues is to, how do we maintain that muscle mass? Veterans who have been paralyzed or lost limbs and can't exercise, and they lose muscle mass, and they might have metabolic problems because of that loss of muscle mass. These types of drugs may be able to maintain that muscle mass.
Also, he thinks it could prove to be valuable for space travel.
Muscle wasting in astronauts, because without resistance, they lose muscle mass. And how can you maintain that muscle mass in space? So something like this could be very valuable to someone in a weightless environment.
Every success in the lab is a step closer to human clinical trials.
Of course, our first generation compounds that we've designed aren't really drugs yet. They're really what we call chemical tools to find out if it's reasonable to go forward with optimizing these towards drugs that could be used in humans.
So with these grants and with the research we're doing here at St. Louis University, we have chemists and biologists coming together, so we're able to really push these projects a little further along because we're able to make the molecules and evaluate them in biological assays and then figure out how to improve them, which is really an advantage. We move things along a lot further.
While exercise in the form of a pill mimics metabolic changes from actual exercise, the biggest benefits for most people come from hard work. For Innovations, I'm Kathleen Berger.